Hello, everyone. It's me, Mary, with Speak Your Truth. Hope everyone is doing okay tonight, today. Had a good day. I'm back at it. I'm ready. Excited. Probably overly excited. I know I don't always look excited, but I'm excited. But anyway, tonight, um, I came back to talk about breaking generational curses. I get these topics from work, communicating with my coworkers and stuff, and I know I'm always talking with my coworkers. But we were chopping it up, excuse me, and talk about all kind of stuff at work. So that's why a lot of times, honestly, I come up with my topics, and we talk about it a little, and I come in and I just have more to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And most time, I don't have nothing. I may have a few notes or something written, jotted down, maybe key points. Most time, I'm rolling straight from my heart. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. The day I got off work, and I'm writing this book, I Am Free, and I'm so excited, y'all. It is this book. Woo! It is powerful, and it's going. I just, woo! I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. But anyway, I still have 4 more chapters to get, you know, typed up and edited and all that kind of stuff. I'm still writing. I find myself. You know what I mean? So I got off today, and I had to go in the store and get a few things, but I don't want to make most of the video of me just chatting and chopping it up about this. So I'll make it real quick. So anyway, I was get off, sitting in the car, and I do this. So I sit in the car for a minute thinking about stuff, and I be sitting in the car for, I know it, 30 minutes. I don't know who else do that, but I will. And I sat there and I wrote a whole chapter, y'all. I was tripping. I was like, I had sat here and wrote a whole chapter in this car. And I got out when the store got what I wanted, and I drove on home. But honestly, I was going to sit in traffic, so it worked out. And usually I go to Starbucks, I sit down, write, do my classwork, I think, you know what I'm saying, and work on my business stuff. So, the only difference was I was sitting in a car versus in a Starbucks. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with y'all. I wrote the chapter. It's powerful. Everything was just flowing. It was flowing so fast, I had to catch up. My hand was couldn't keep up with my mind. You know what I'm saying? So I wrote a chapter, and it's powerful. I can't wait till y'all read this book. So anyway, back to what I'm really supposed to be talking about. All right, generational curses, breaking generational curses. Okay, generational curses. We all have them. We all have them. It's those things that have been passed down in our bloodline from generation to generation, those dysfunctional, toxic things that nobody stopped to change. No, and it has to be someone to break the curse. It could be from a poverty, divorce, addictions, um, mindsets, health, mental health, things of that nature. So I want to talk about that. Okay, first of all, say this. A wise man told me years ago that I am an interruption in my bloodline. I'm going to tell you that about you. You are an interruption in your bloodline, meaning you are chosen to break the curse in your family that's on your generation. Somebody has to break the curse, okay? Many are called, but few are chosen. You know who's chosen? The one that steps up and takes over and take the assignment and roll with it and do it. Okay? Got it? All right. So therefore, I know I was chosen. I know that. I know very well that I was chosen. How do I know I was chosen? I think differently than anyone possibly in my family. Most everyone, they're traditional. They think the same. They have the same mindset. There's a lot of fear factors in my family. And I'm not trying to just call nobody out. I'm just keeping it 100. You might not like what I say. Sorry, fam. It is what it is. So here we go. And that's it. That's just how it goes. So basically, I'm not traditional. I understand. I go against the grain. I have a different mindset. I think very on a high vibration. I know I can own an empire. You understand? I know I could do anything I set my mind to. I've had some shortcomings, of course. Um, However, I know how powerful I am. I haven't always tapped into my power and walked in it the way that I am now, but I know that I've always carried that. I've always been the one that thought differently, and maybe everybody wanted to go north, and I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna go northwest. I don't know, just throwing it out there. So that's who I've always been. I guess when people call you weird, eccentric, different, I'm distant. I'm a loner. I set my own tone. I march to the beat of my own drum. I'm not easily persuaded. I raised my kids very different than what I was raised, and even what I've seen my cousin, sister, everybody, not my brother. My brother, kind of different too. But even the way I was raised, I'm just gonna put it. My kids totally different. I refuse to raise dysfunctional children in a dysfunctional environment. You know, so that's just how it is. I'm breaking the curse of the generation. Children out of wedlock. One of my daughters have kids, but I'm like, please get a husband. Get a husband. You know, order. You know, I'm saying get some order. You know, poverty, changing the mindset, teaching about money, finances, pushing entrepreneurship into my children, not telling them to go get a good job. Well, no, first, let me start off right. Let me start it right. First of all, let me make a disclaimer. Nothing's wrong with college. So don't take this to heart. Take it personal. And I went to college, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with college. I'm in college. I've been to college. I had to go to college to get to where I am. So, and to learn what I know, I had to go to school for that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm in college now. You know, doing some other things, psychology. So don't get it twisted and don't start throwing rocks at me. Um, but this is what is usually put, goes from generation to generation. Go to college, get a good job, buy your house, a few nice cars, save some money for a rainy day. That's a generational curse. You might disagree, but it is. Nothing about financing, investing, what to do with your money, how to multiply your money, how to even manage your money. It was in that equation or in that scenario that I gave you. Nothing about entrepreneurship, ownership. If I could tell you nothing else, which I could tell you a lot, but one thing I want to tell you tonight, own something. Own something. Even if you work a job, nothing wrong working a job, because we need doctors, nurses, lawyers. These are jobs. We need people to. Somebody got to do the work somewhere. I get it. At the same time, own something. You can have a side hustle. You can have a. I'm sorry. You can have a small business. Own property. Own something, please, before you die. Own land. Own something, y'all. Buy something to say you own it. It's yours. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to work for somebody else to the day you croak. You really don't. You don't want to be 60, 70 years old, 75, 80, having to work. You want to work because that's what you want to do. Otherwise, you want to own something that you can wake up in the morning and you can say, I made money in my sleep. That's the American dream. That's living, y'all. Okay? All right? It's okay to buy property, buy a house. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just not the only part of the American dream, or I call it generational curses. Everybody got their own definitions, okay? Addictions, drug addictions, alcohol, those are curses on the generation. You know what I'm saying? And they run from generation to generation. Your mother, her mother, her mother, was alcoholic or drug addict. Most time it trickles down. So somewhere you have to stop that to say, I'm not gonna drink, do drugs. I have my children. I'm gonna show them a better life. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna pick up those habits because I've seen those habits trickle down from generation to generation. Even with my growing up, I saw that. So I'm not gonna invite that into my life because I don't want to put that in my household and to be a dysfunction to my children. Okay. Money. I talk about poverty, finances. That's a generational curse. If you don't teach nothing about it, investing money, um, things of that nature, all you're doing is passing down poverty. We should be passing down generational blessings to break the curse. We should be building legacies. That's how you break the curse. We stop it. Somebody has to be the stopping and the starting point. So you got to stop it on one end, and on another end, you're starting. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody has to do it. Okay? But now listen to this. The person that decides to step up, that's chosen to do it, it's a lot. You're going to catch a lot of backflash or back talk from your family. They're not going to understand you. People are not going to understand you. You're weird because your belief system is totally different from everybody else. Most of the time, you stand out from everybody else. You do things totally different from everybody else. You just have different beliefs. Your thinking is higher. Your thinking is different. You think everybody else in the box thinking, you outside the box thinking. You thinking bigger. They thinking small. You know what I'm saying? So that's one part of it. Okay? So you're gonna be called weird, you're gonna be called crazy, you're gonna be called a lot of things. And people, when you tell people what you're working on, they're gonna look at you like you are crazy. It's okay. That's you're on the right track. You're gonna tell them your beliefs, and they're gonna tell you that you are crazy, and it's okay. Just say okay, and just keep doing what you're doing, because everything is proven by what you do and what you put out and what they see. See, what you sound like and what you actually put out will measure up. Okay, I sound a little crazy, and I've actually manifested this, so I must really be crazy. See how crazy I am? Okay, so you're breaking the generational curses on your bloodline, meaning you're changing the culture. Okay, somebody has to change the culture, y'all. It can't stay the same. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it honestly breaks. It messes with God and the kingdom of God and the formation of order. You understand? Some people understand where I'm coming from. His order, okay? It messes that up. Everything is relational with God. Is generational. You understand? Everything is relational. Okay? It's all about relationships. Okay? And everything is kingdom. I believe in the kingdom. That's just how I feel, and that's my belief. So therefore, we're supposed to always be passing the torch, leaving a legacy, building a foundation, creating generational wealth, and that all equals breaking generational curses. Okay? What I do today, and from this day forth, every book I write, every business I open, when I get married one day, me and my spouse, what we build, our children that we have, that we bring in or whatever, our children, our children's children, they will carry on the legacy. That's breaking the curse. That helps the poverty line. Okay, that starts to take care of the poverty of the curse. Okay, my children see me doing these things, and I gotta go back on that. Another way to break the generational curse is by example. Our children see us, and they mimic what we do. We teach them, we train them up, but they also they are looking at us all the time, guys. And what we're doing is what they're going to follow. Okay? Therefore, we have to be an example. All right? We are honestly the first, the best, and probably the only example sometimes that we'll have in life. So we need to try to be the best example. Okay? Therefore, we need to figure out how to break the curse. In my family, there's a curse of divorce or children out of wedlock. Nobody's married. Or if we married, we gotten divorced. We were married, we've gotten a divorce. Incest, molestation, um, poverty, um, needless traditions, um, betrayal, hurt, addictions, drug, alcohol. Those are some curses on my bloodline. I've chose a different route on my children. Communication, the door is open. We talk about any and everything. I relate to them. If I can't relate, I help them get some help to get, so they can get the help. Which mental health, I want to go on that since I went there. And things that the African American community somehow, some way, just seem to be ashamed of and shy away from. Especially when I was growing up, it was like, oh, Junebug, he just crazy. Junebug really needed some help because he had a mental problem and he needed medication. But nobody realized how crazy Junebug was till he went out there and killed all those people. Then somebody said, y'all know y'all should have got Junebug some help. Okay? So when you see things in your children that are not normal, get them some help. Don't be sitting back ashamed. Oh, they ain't crazy. I need to talk to a psychiatrist, psychologist. Yes, they do. They need help. And honestly, I studied psychology. And I could talk to my kids, a lot of people. I could talk to people outside of my children. And the conversation flows different. I could talk to my children and it's different because I'm more like, those are my children. So it's harder for me. Now I'm feeling the emotions are different. I'm more biased and I'm more judgmental. Being a psychologist, you can't be biased. You can't be judgmental. That's why you cannot give sessions to your children, your family, your spouse, people that are that close to you. It's better not to. You know what I'm saying? Because you will have judgment, biases, and emotional type things and feel some type of way because those are the people that you really love and that are really close to you. Okay? So with that being said, if you see those things within your children, you may have that capability to help them, give them the talk, help them, try to find out what you can about what's wrong with them, but they need to talk to somebody that don't know them. Because they need to talk to somebody that they've never met, a psychologist, psychiatrist that they don't even know them, to help them. That's the best thing for them to do. Okay? So with that being said, dealing with the divorce, a lot of times in the African American community, we've been separated and our families have been broken up for years. It was back in the day that the family stayed together. Now it's more prone that we're far apart, so we're really far apart now. We're really not connected in a family unit like we should be. That's a part of breaking generational curses, guys. It's keeping the family together, the husband and wife team with the children together, trying to be a family and raise them. And one thing I could tell you what I know just from being married before and having all my children in the same household with my ex-husband, when everything was, although I'm divorced, it wasn't dysfunctional on the way that it affected the kids. it was us. We would, but the kids, we didn't put that on them to cause dysfunction to our children. But I mean, however, we have to be careful because we want our families to come together. You know what I'm saying? We want the dad to be in the household because that's the strong force, that's the leader of the house. Since that is not as prone in the African American household, you got more women leading and playing, and not playing, but having to take on the role to be the, I ain't gonna say the father because a woman can't be the father, but to be on both sides and having to conquer all of that, the mother and the father role is harder sometimes. And she can't play that role because she's not a man. She can only do the nurture and the part that a woman does. She can't be take that leadership role as a man. So we need to stop getting that twisted because we don't have that women. That's not us. We're not built that way. Okay. So the man missing in the house, if you're co-parenting, hopefully it's strong on both forces and you are level-headed enough to understand that we got to be this for our children. Forget about us, what didn't work, how we feel about each other. Just think about the children. We got to take care of these children. We got to raise these children up to be the best they can be. So put your feelings to the side. It don't even matter anyway. Y'all didn't make it. Part your ways. Do what you do. But take care of the kids. Make sure the kids are okay. Make sure you level-headed with the kids. That's one thing I can say about me and my ex-husband. No matter what our differences were, our children, we never put them in the middle of nothing. You know what I'm saying? We always cordial, respect each other, had boundaries, still have boundaries to this day. Take care of the kids, that's our priority, what we're doing for the children. That was it. I don't step on his side, he don't step on my side. That's how it is. That's how it's always been. And it's healthy. And we talk about things with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, since they're old, I tell him and he call them and talk to them. So sometimes I don't get in it. I let them figure it out. Because they're at that age. You know what I'm saying? Where I say, call your daddy, talk to him. I'm going to let you deal with this. But when they were younger, we got divorced, what have you. And we had to do the two home thing, you got this week, I got this week, whatever. We were cordial for our kids. We raised our kids in the best way we could. Where they never saw us fighting, fussing. It wasn't, none of that. If I had an issue with him, I dealt with him on the outside. Okay? So, that's a way to break generational curses, y'all. Let the men, this for the women, the men that are out there trying to help their kids, be a dad, please let them be a leader in their children's life. Let them be there for their kids. Stop blocking them. Those dads that do want to be there. Guys, stop badgering the women, putting the women down in front of the children. Treat their mama in a sight like she is a queen. Understand? Treat her right. Respect her. You're not with her. You don't have to. You got boundaries on that. You should have boundaries. But in the presence, respect her. Understand what I'm saying? When y'all doing the drop off, the pick up, however y'all handle that, do it cordial without talking about them. If you can't talk about something in front of the kids without going to a higher level of screaming, whatever, just wait. Just don't talk about it. Okay? That's breaking curses. Because the kids will not be so dysfunctional until they see two arguing parents that can't get along, that are dysfunctional. That messes up their future relationships, is what I'm trying to get to. They say, oh, this is how relationships going to be? So if I get married, I'm going to get divorced. Now I got to go through this. Now they have a fear of marriage. You know what I'm saying? And I know somebody, they didn't get married. They were engaged for a long time because they were scared to get married. Because of what they saw with their parents. So that's a part of breaking the curse. If you can't stay married, to have that functional home, that loving home, that home where the kids and everything flows and you raise the kids in the right way. And if you have to separate, I say separate if it's gonna cause dysfunction, but keep it functional, keep it right, keep it healthy. Should I say healthy? You understand what I'm saying? So that's a part of how I handle it too. I don't badger my ex husband, things like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. So keep it healthy, no matter how you feel. The kids, I'm telling you, they're gonna try to be better kids. They'll turn out, they won't have all these hang-ups about relationships, identity. Because that's, honestly, we get our identity from our father. That's where we get our identity from. People don't understand that. Understand? That's why a lot of women struggle when they don't have a father growing up, because they didn't have a father around. They didn't have a father figure. So they're like, they choose these guys, they pick up this. If you ever noticed a woman that has her dad in her life, and he's a solid dad, he's that dad that's there. He date his daughter. He's there with his daughter. He talked to his daughter. He groomed his daughter. They choose different type of guys. It's like they have a no nonsense for certain type of guys. Some of them all go through things. I'm not saying that we don't, as women, all go through things with guys, but for some reason, there it's a difference when sometimes in the men, because they're looking at their daddy as an example. So they said, I want a man like my daddy. If my daddy showed his girl or his wife or my mama, if they were still married, this is what the child is saying. His wife or my mom, if he married to my mama, whoever he was with, he treated her like royalty and like a queen. I want a man to treat me like that. So they're gonna go out and they gonna look for that type of guy. They ain't gonna, you come at her like that. She be like, oh, my daddy want, I had this type of daddy. You feel what I'm trying to say? So we have to be careful with that, not knowing that everything we do is an impact on our children. You know what I'm saying? So that is a part of breaking these generational curses, y'all. The addictions, the patterns. We got to stop these patterns, these traditions. Cause you grew up and that's how your grandmama and them or whoever did things. That don't mean that's how you do it. Because that don't mean it was right. That just means that's what they did in that time. You can go back to church and religion. Because you was taught that don't mean today that was right. When you study and you get to know your history and know who you are, you kind of find out I was bamboozled. I was lied to about a whole lot of things. You know what I'm saying? But that's what you were taught. That's the example that was given to you. So as a child, what did you do? You went with it. What choice did you have? Understand? If you grow up in a household and you're not shown any type of love or anything like that, you grow up and you don't know how to show love. You don't know how to, sometimes even with showing, and most times you can't show love, you can't reciprocate. You know what I'm saying? So you can't take it. You're not able to receive it, should I say. You know what I'm saying? You're not able to, somebody showing you love, it's harder for you to take that, ingest that, because you're like, shoot, I had a hard time loving, and I have an even harder time receiving. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the nature of growing up and how you grew up. It's nothing, no rhyme or reason that make you a good or a bad person or indifferent. It's just how you grew up. And all these are curses on our generation. So we have to, if you know you grew up and you weren't shown a lot of love, then you give your children that love. I can look at that same way. My dad one day, I wasn't showing a whole lot of love. I was hard. My shell has just been cracked. Letting people in, it was arm's length, baby. You thought you was in the gate, but you wasn't in the gate. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it was. So I had to learn through healing and just changing mindset and breaking the curses of how to love. I had to open up more to my kids to even love them, because my kids were like, you didn't say nothing to us today. You was quiet today. Because that's how I was. I made sure everybody was okay. Now, mind you, I take care of the house. When I was married, I took care of my household, everything. But I still had a shell. I still had a distance in me. Understand? I still had this wall that had to be broken down because of how I grew up, and that was part of my curse. They open up. You understand? So all of this evolves around generational curses. You know what I'm saying? Poverty, incest, child molestation. That was my fear. Child molestation was one of my fears because it was deep and rooted in my bloodline, and it was covering my children because I refused to let that same thing happen to them. You understand what I'm saying? So, yes, I was that parent. You can't spend a night over here. I'm covering my children. I taught them this. You can't spend a night at a family member house most of the time. That's just how it was. You understand? So I decided to break the curse. I taught my kids things. I sat down, I talked to them, I explained to them things. I didn't hide stuff. You understand? The help they need, I will get it. I took the time out so we can break the curses so you don't have another dysfunctional generation in your bloodline coming up. Now, they love the thought of entrepreneurship. They are richer for entrepreneurship. At a young age of 17, my daughter is an entrepreneur. She is a hairdresser. She does hair. She make her money. Every week she doing 2 or 3 heads. She braiding, she doing hair. She's only 17. Her mindset is to be an entrepreneur, to come with her own makeup brand. That's what she's working on. So right now and right there, if I'm getting all of them set that way, they'll all pass the torch on down to their children. That it just trickles on down. So all my kids are doing something in this right here, and the one I'm working on to be able to be entrepreneurs by 2020. That's the goal. All right. Therefore, I am breaking the curse. Poverty is not going to be in my bloodline. Wherever I find myself in the future, on all levels, poverty will not be in my bloodline at all, on either side. You understand what I'm saying? It will not be on my bloodline. All right. Once I get it, it's going to be passed down. My niece, my nephews, they will not be poverty level. You know what I'm saying? My bloodline is protected because I'm doing the work now. You understand? That's all I'm saying. Is we have to start, and it's not for us, it's for the next 3 to 4 generations, y'all. And I say that it's breaking generational curses, and you gotta start with the bloodline, y'all. That's where it starts. So I just wanted to share that tonight, and I know I went into 30 something minutes. Didn't mean to, but I just felt like this was a very, very needed topic, especially for African American community. Not that I'm just throwing out there because I'm African American. I'm just throwing out there because a lot of times we are the ones that are stuck in the curse of the generation, to be quite honest. Okay? And this is Speak Your Truth, so that's what I'm doing. So just think about some things that I said. Think about where you are. If you have children, it's never too late to change the game. Work on yourself. If you need to see some things within you need to change, to break curses, it's okay. I'm still working on it. Understand?